tackle with a penalty flag down. And the linemen, they're already walking back. That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting.
They throw right away, and that's complete out on the right side. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's second down.
That was a nice throw out there to the flat, but they defended that pretty well. The hope is to go ahead and put it on him so he can turn and get upfield and gain additional yardage. It just wasn't anywhere to go on that play.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28. So they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for third down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up fourth down.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the third down play was, the down and distance, and made sure. They didn't get anywhere near that, bringing up fourth down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3 and out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football and got to him and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch.
They'll run on first down. It's Turner. He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30. You know, Charles, you and I get to call a lot of games at the next level, but walking into the stadium, there's just something about the college atmosphere, the bands, the pageantry. So nice for us to be able to get the assignment to call a few games on Saturdays this fall because, let's be honest, there's nothing like college football.
I would agree with that. Look, there's electricity that crackles no matter whether it's college or the NFL, but this is a different vibe altogether when you talk about a college game. And how about the one we're getting right out of the gate? 2 powerhouses in the college football world going at it to get things started.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. They'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. That one good for 20 on the catch and run. If that student section wasn't alive, they are alive and well now. That chunk play woke them up. It is starting to get really, really loud in here as this offense is on the move here in the first quarter. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down. That play right there, Charles, that is a prime example of why Coach O'Brien likes this young quarterback on the field, his ability to scramble.
And you talk about the ability to scramble, move his feet, quarterback run plays, you name it. Everything is in the playbook now. When he comes on the field, and that's what you like because you know Coach O'Brien's background is defense. And as a defensive coordinator, what drove him crazy? Quarterbacks that can move.
But the coaches even said to us, Charles, that at times he reminds them of a running back.
Yeah, and they don't want to say it very loudly and take all the motivation away from this young man, but if they had to move him to running back full-time, they'd be very confident that he'd be a good one.
From the 2 now, second and goal. They'll try to run this one in. They're able to get a couple here, but won't get across the plane as they stop him right around the 1. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on third, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility
and he will take this in. Touchdown, Miami. Taking it in from a yard out. And the Hurricanes have taken the early lead. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym, preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Extra point right down the middle, and that makes makes the score 7-0. So following the touchdown, here's the Miami kick team to send this one away. This taken in about 4 yards deep. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. Ready to begin their next drive. Here's the Florida offense. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
so well. Go to something else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Out of the gun, it's White. Open man is Galladay, complete. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down.
Now, I'm not putting him in the Hall of Fame, but if you look at the great linebackers in history, they all have that ability to innately sense where a play is going, sometimes even before the ball snaps, and they're
connect.
Every offense tells you they want to come out and start fast. That's not unusual at all. But this group, they've yet to get much rolling through their first 2.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Fielded at the 20. That'll wind up being a 50-yard punt, though they do get 10 back on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Back out there for their next offensive drive. The Hurricanes get set. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21. It's a big play there. 49 yards. The Hurricanes now 1st and 10. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Hurricanes 7, Gators nothing.
Set them back 5.
Still 1st down.
So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game. And he's going to score. Touchdown, Hurricanes. What a special moment for him. The first passing touchdown of his college career, and certainly a moment that he will never forget.
And it always helps to get that first one out of the way, doesn't it? I know right now that he just wants to go and jump to the top of the stadium and throw his hands up and exult a little bit. But he's had a chance to prove that he can do it now. He got it done. It's been a long time in the making. Now he's just got to harness that emotion and continue to play.
So following the touchdown, here's the Miami kick team to send this one away. Takes this about 5 yards deep. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Gator offense about ready to get this next drive started. This is their 3rd drive. Right now, maybe not about points, just about getting something. They haven't gotten a first down yet in this game.
It's a mental barrier you don't think about until you go a couple of drives without getting a first down. Then all of a sudden it looms big. It gets harder and harder to actually attain that first down.
Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now. Hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
The scoreboard tells the story for him, a little bit bleak, and while it's not quite desperation time yet, It's definitely getting close, but the defense reads the scoreboard as well. They're going to back up and make them really earn it.
And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stopped them for almost no gain.
13 yards on the return there after a punt of 57. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here's the University of Miami, their offense ready to get the drive started. He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. And that's caught inside the 30. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. So you have to go up and get the football. That's a big-time play right there. Well, the defensive guys won't be real happy because there won't be a sack on this play because he did get back to the line of scrimmage. But what a job they did overall. Hemmed him in and gave him nowhere to go with the football.
Fighting throw. Sheds a second man.
He's building up some momentum, isn't he?
And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Eluding the pressure right. He may try and run for this. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, 1st down. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Forced out to his left. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. A 6-yard touchdown run. And the Hurricanes add on to their advantage. As we saw right there, they've got a quarterback that, well, yes, he can throw it. He's not afraid to tuck the ball and run, and it paid off with a score on that last play.
Yeah, Brandon, he's a true dual-threat guy. I mean, if you take away the passing lanes, he'll use his legs and create plays like one we just saw there. I really think this young guy could just tuck it and go more times than not if he chose to do so.
And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
Ready to begin their next drive. Here's the Florida offense. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On the ground, Ellington. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
At the 46-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup. Brings up 2nd and 2.
2nd and 2. White, he's going to go deep for Beasley. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
I'm not sure it made a difference on that play, but one thing to keep in mind, here in the early part of the year during a day game, the sun does play a factor on deep balls.
Here's White on 3rd and 2. And that is incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far offensively or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline.
The Hurricanes take over 1st and 10 at their own 44-yard line.
Back out there for their next offensive drive. The Hurricanes get set. They are clicking on all cylinders. They seem to be just scoring at will right now, and that's why they've opened up this big lead.
Now, we always talk about getting into the zone, and all athletes are seeking that, aren't they? Where everything is working for them. Every move they make works. It clicks, and they are on point right now.
Yeah, they are in that zone that you're talking about. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Meanwhile, this one knocked down in the backfield. It's incomplete.
And the incomplete pass there, and you think about the quarterback position in college football. Kind of seems like once you get a guy developed, his 4 years are up just like that. He's off to the NFL. So what we're seeing here, a first ever college start at the quarterback position. How hard is it to win with someone who's unproven like that?
It's always hard. Now, we've seen guys do it, but to me, there are few and far between because the teams that don't have returning starters at that position, or at least guys that saw significant action and can handle the pressure a little bit, you got to put them a little bit of a notch below everyone else because in high school, those guys can get by in raw talent. It's harder to do that on the college level.
That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays. They'll look to throw now on first down. Checks it underneath to Langford. Down to the 6-yard line on a pickup of 6 as he gets halfway to the goal line.
It's funny, throughout the time that we've been together, when we talk with running backs about the ability to catch the ball, their eyes light up when they talk about open field and having one-on-one matchups, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And that's the reason why. What we just saw, shedding those tackles, and he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. It's their quarterback as the first half is winding down, and the Hurricanes add on to their advantage.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. A fairly short kick from the 14. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
At their own 28-yard line.
The Gator offense about ready to get this next drive started. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Over the middle to Smith. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th. A final shot before break. White. The open man is Smith. With that, we reach halftime here in Arlington in the season opener of college football.
Nothing.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That'll be taken about a yard deep. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here's the University of Miami, their offense ready to get the drive started. And that last touchdown drive, a good mix of pass and run. Defensively, they just looked a little out of whack.
And it's so hard to...
And it's caught inside the 30. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. A big play there. 53 yards. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. That's caught by Jackson. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 13 yards as they've got the connection working. His 2nd catch in a row, 1st down. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
And down inside the 10 here before he's out of bounds right around the 7. Give him 4 yards there on the first down keeper.
Well, if you're going to run the read option, typically, you've got to keep an eye on the defensive end.
And what does that mean? What are you looking for with a defensive end?
Well, you want to play off of what he does. If he collapses inside towards the running back, then you pull it and take it yourself outside in. If he stays outside, you go ahead and leave it with the running back. In this case, pulled it and got good yardage himself.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And this offense continues to pour it on.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Point after, right down the middle. And that will extend this big lead. So following the touchdown, here's the Miami kick team to send this one away. Now this will make it into the end zone. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
Ready to begin their next drive. Here's the Florida offense. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think he might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
40-yard line.
Here we go, D. Here I come again. Here I come again. Here I come again.
Now it's Jennings. Able to push forward for about 4 down to the 37.
At the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back there and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Another attempt, another incompletion, and when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points, and the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball. Well, you got to think that sooner or later, they're going to hit one of those, but the coverage has been excellent thus far, and it was again on the last play.
A 54-yard attempt.
And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Charles, 54 yards. I'm surprised that came up short.
I would agree with that one because normally, if he misses, it's accuracy, not length, because he has plenty of leg for that. But maybe it's like I hit my golf shot, maybe it's like my wedge. When you chili dip and you hit the ground ahead of it, sometimes that'll short. your distance as well.
First and 10 at the 49-yard line.
So here's a 1st and 10 for Miami. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Got an open man. It's Washington. And he's able to get this way down deep into enemy territory. It's a gain of 34.
These college offenses, Charles, so wide open. And there's an example right there that we just saw. And let me ask you, how does a college offense differ from an NFL offense, or does it?
Well, it still does, Brandon, because NFL offenses, while they're continuing to embrace what the colleges are giving them more and more, they're still not playing as fast as a general rule. You know, most college offenses will run about 15 plays per game more than NFL offenses will. They'll take a few more chances in what they're doing, maybe try and isolate their star player a little bit better. Yeah, there's still some differences in what we're seeing, but for me, speed and pace of play for college offenses is still ahead of what we see in the NFL.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
This will be caught inside the 10. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. They wind up getting 16, but even that's not quite enough. It's 4th down. And no move to get the offense off the field. They'll stay put on 4th and 1.
In a big game, may just change the thought process here on 4th down. I think in the red zone, they might now consider going for it on 4th down.
They get 6 yards going for it on 4th, and now it's 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in, and he will take this in. Touchdown, Miami. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And this offense is running away with this one. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. The bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
So following the touchdown, here's the Miami kick team to send this one away.
Fields it in the middle of the end zone. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line.
25-yard line.
The Gator offense about ready to get this next drive started. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who could make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
To throw on 3rd down, White. That's taken in by the tight end, Perkins. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
He steps out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage.
Florida's punter is out there now. This is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Taken in at the 11. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds.
Nice work on the return as he gets about 15 yards back.
And out will come the offense as they take over. On 1st down, it's Woods. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Now, I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
7 yards there and a 1st down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's at the lower center of gravity and Turn his legs for a really nice pickup.
The Hurricanes now 1st and 10. They run the counter. It's Woods. And some room to roam now. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a first down.
I tell you, you look around the college football landscape, there's some really good running backs this year. The draft projections really littered with that crop of players, and we've got a couple of them in our game here this afternoon.
And I'm glad that you pointed that out, partner, because we always talk about the guys who throw the football and the guys who catch the ball, but the runners are still vital. And that was a pretty good run right there, a good illustration of what he can do. And they're counting on those kind of runs to help them win their conference, because you and I both know that's the best path to the college football playoff. Win your conference first and give yourself that opportunity.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Dancing to his left. And now he's going to use his legs. Pushing his way through. The escapability in evidence there is that one good for 15 and a first.
Now, that was a whole lot of open space out in front of it, wasn't it? I'm telling you, Brandon, when things are going right, they are going right.
And everything has been going their way for the most part. I saw that lane start to develop. Boom. He took advantage of it. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Give him 4 yards there on the first down keeper. 9-yard line, 2nd and 6. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. This will be caught at about the 6. And he's going to score. Touchdown, Hurricanes. A 9-yard touchdown grab as his guys continue to pour it on.
I'll tell you what, a pretty special performance for his first ever start. That were 3
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And he gets in. And no one was expecting a fake there, but they add 2 more onto their lead. So following the touchdown, here's the Miami kick team to send this one away.
Takes this about 5 yards deep, and it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. Ready to begin their next drive. Here's the Florida offense. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And
he rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 30. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
Fields it in the middle of the end zone. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25.
The Gator offense about ready to get this next drive started.
And you can sort of sense their dejection. That last pick six put the icing on the cake, so to speak, in what has been a rough go for them.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw again. White. Under pressure, and down he goes.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Looking for his running back, and he's got it. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. Back out there for their next offensive drive. The Hurricanes get set. They'll run on 1st down. It's Woods. Now, he's able to break through 1 tackle, but it slowed him down enough that he could only manage getting back to the line of scrimmage.
Now, that's a mound of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
When you look at the scoreboard, you'd think they'd be pretty comfortable right now with this lead, but these guys are absolutely not going to let up. They want to increase their lead, and they want to do it with a big play. Unable to connect in that attempt.
Wide open receiver complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. On 1st down, it's Woods. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come. Looks like he'll throw here. Flushed out right. He'll run it. And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Brings up 2nd and 2.
On 2nd down now, it's Woods. And down inside the 15 he goes. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And he will take this in. Touchdown, Miami. A 3-yard touchdown run as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. The Hurricanes looking like they're going to go for 2.
Well, there's just about a minute left in this game, and they're still taking it into the end zone. And you know they could have taken a knee there, but they decided to play this one all the way out. And I think their philosophy is, we're going to give you everything we've got. If we just go ahead and take a knee now, we're actually showing you disrespect that way, like taking pity on you. They're not about to do that to their opponent.
And this one won't bounce their way. It's covered up by the hands team. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data said...
Now White lost the football. But fortunately, another offensive player quick to react, and they will indeed retain possession.
So they keep the ball, but work to do on 2nd and long.
From the shotgun, here's White. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent. And that allows you to make a play on it. And oftentimes,
can't get away, and he's taken down.
But this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say, when you have obvious passing situations. Hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.